afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tamar.
I'm T.
And I'm Aida. And we are here today to present to you a farm-to-table Italian restaurant and retail concept that will deliver locally sourced ingredients, provide menu transparency, and foster community connections. This is my family's 20-year-old Italian restaurant located in Fairfield County, Connecticut, where about 5 years ago I started to notice a shift in the dining preferences of my customers. So much so that they would ask the chef visit their table so they could inquire about the source of our ingredients. And about 2 years ago, I took a trip to Italy, where my family owns a restaurant on the island of Ponza. There, we buy produce purchased that afternoon, and we wait for the fishermen to dock to deliver the catch for that night's dinner service. I started to envision how I could replicate such an experience back home. And upon meeting T and Tamar, I shared my idea with them, and together we have formed Campagna Ristorante. Campagna is a region that is the epitome of organically grown food in Italy. It is the perfect inspiration for our restaurant.
We have chosen Stamford, Connecticut as the location of our first Campagna unit. Stamford is embedded within Fairfield County, which I'm sure, as you all know, is one of the most affluent counties in the nation. Stamford has a large number of residents with high average income who are well-traveled and have an appreciation for authenticity and slow food process. Within Fairfield County alone, there are approximately 30 farmers markets. Residents in that area have formulated organizations to support locally grown food. The well-known Newman's Own Foundation and Wholesome Wave have also originated in Fairfield County. Customers in that area desire local and fresh food, and that is the reason why Campagna will resonate with the market.
We have contacted and confirmed that 12 farms within a 77-mile radius will be able to supply Campagna with the amount of product needed. Campagna defines local as farms operating within 100 miles of the unit. Furthermore, we have confirmed that these farms have the ability to increase supply to meet demand, which validates our ability to scale the concept. We plan on hosting a farmer's dinner every month to connect our customers with our suppliers, show them where their food is from, and further foster community connection. Take a journey through a Campagna unit with me. The first Campagna unit will be located on Restaurant Row in downtown Stamford. This is a very busy area with a high concentration of shops, businesses, office buildings, and luxury residences. The rendering you are viewing is the exact layout of one of 3 units available for lease on Restaurant Row. The restaurant will feature 51 seats across 2,200 square feet. The Campagna service model features a full-service restaurant, a full-service dining room, a full-service bar, and a retail storefront, featuring products made in the Campagna kitchen, such as fresh pastas, charcuteries, jams, and sauces. Chef Nick is currently passing out a few examples of signature Campagna retail products. In front of you, you have 3 crostini, a house-made ricotta with local honey, tomato confit, and cured duck with orange marmalade. Buon appetito.
We have identified 4 competitors in downtown Stamford, but none of them have taken advantage of the growing community support for local farms. Campagna centers our value proposition around the desire of our customers to have menu transparency and community connection. Our restaurant and retail model is also unique to the area and provides the added benefit of lowering our food costs. Finally, we are vying to receive 5 distinct accolades that none of our competition holds. Receiving these awards will expand our social media outreach, our credibility, and the value in the eyes of our customers. Combined with our 4 competitive advantages and our value proposition, Campagna will become a sense of place for local residents.
We recognize several avenues for the growth of Campagna. After 6 months of opening, we plan to add more revenue streams by developing online retail platform as well as adding delivery service. We'll also explore possibilities of distributing our retail product into local grocery stores. Campagna will first focus on the suburban counties on the East Coast first, and then we'll develop to the other areas in the US. In year 1 to 2, we will focus on our first unit, make it very profitable, and build our brand image. In year 3, we plan to open our second location, and all the cities shown on this map are potential choices for our second location. Campagna will continue organically growing while exploring other concepts according to different markets. And we will also consider to develop our retail section into independent retail stores. Our first Campagna unit requires a capital budget of $750,000. The 3 of us will each put in $100,000. And we're asking for $450,000 today from you. We estimate year 1 revenue will be $1.6 million. Net income before taxes will be approximately $300,000. And ROI in year 1 will be about 44%. Our management skills allows us to design a very profitable menu while remaining competitive priced using locally sourced ingredients. We're confident that we will provide our investors promising returns.
We have formulated a very strong management team to guarantee the success of Campagna. T holds a very impressive background, from being a senior brand manager to a graduate of the Culinary Institute of America and working in some of Manhattan's best restaurants as a line cook. I knew she was a perfect partner for my concept when she shared with me the idea that why she came to the hotel school was because she wanted to form a business that supported local farms. But it's her passion for Italian food and her killer bolognese sauce that won me over.
Thank you. Tamar has been cooking in the kitchen since she was 14. She also went to the Culinary Institute of America and has worked for the farm-to-table icon restaurant Blue Hill at Stone Bars in upstate New York, coordinating sustainable food events. I remember the first time I went to visit one of our suppliers' farms with Tamar, and I witnessed how excited she was when she was talking to the farmers and interacting with the animals. At that moment, I knew that she would be the perfect ambassador for our farm-to-table restaurant concept.
Aida grew up in her family's restaurant and knows every aspect of the operations. She brings with her an invaluable connection with local media outlets and the community. I knew Aida's passion when she called me to tell me about the beautiful tomatoes that she had purchased at the farmer's market earlier that day. Aida is the perfect partner for this business, and her love of food and passion for hospitality inspires me every single day.
As you can see, T and Tamar are the perfect partners to formulate Campagna with. We are very aware that the restaurant industry is very challenging, but it is our undoubted capability and our extensive front and back of house operation knowledge that will guarantee the success of Campagna Ristorante. Thank you so much, and we're now happy to take your questions.
Okay, great presentation, really well done. A question on the P&L. When you look at insurance costs, you had total insurance costs with a liquor license restaurant at $5,000. How'd you arrive at that number?
Sure, I'll be happy to take your answer. Take your question. So our insurance costs are actually factored into our operating costs, and we've broken it down month by month. It's something that is factored into our month-by-month costs. Our insurance is comprised of 2 aspects, our contents package and our workman's compensation package. Our contents package insures our restaurant building itself and any customer issues that may arise. Our workman's compensation package is for the benefit of our employees to make sure they're protected as well. We have arrived at approximately a $15,000 a year cost for insurance.
Are you going to accept credit cards?
Yes, we are accepting credit cards.
On the P&L, there wasn't a line item for credit card fees as well.
I believe we have already factored the credit card charges into our assumptions. Yeah, we've built that in, I believe so.
Love your backgrounds. You know, the 3 of you go in there every day and work hard. I'm sure you'll make a great success of this restaurant. A couple questions on Stanford and also the category. Lots of Italian restaurants out there, right? Everybody has their own favorite. So how do you break through on Italian? Number two, how do you break through in Stanford on local? Because a lot of restaurants are adding local, doing local, whatever, and the scale of Blue Hill is a different world. So tell me about what makes it different on Italian. Tell me about what makes it different on local and why you're the better local.
Sure.
And I have one more question.
Sure, okay. In regards to Italian lends itself really well to the idea of farm to table because that's how they eat in Italy. Their proteins, their produce, their dairy, it's what's sourced that season. Our menu concept, you're right, there's a lot of Italian restaurants in the area. They focus on very traditional Italian dishes. They do not have on their menu, if we pull up an appendix example of our menu, we have listed the example of each menu item, list where each individual product, ingredient comes from, and the farms. No Italian restaurants do this right now. In regards to your second question, local, there's approximately 30 farms in Fairfield County, Connecticut, and we have confirmed that they're able to supply the amount of product that we need. Stamford, Connecticut has a farmer's market 7 months out of the year. It's really catching on, and people are desiring to know where the produce is from. So we marry the two concepts, the Italian food, and that our market's familiar with the food. Because through our experience, they don't really enjoy esoteric menu offerings. There has been concepts that have come in that try to do some kind of fusion stuff that don't necessarily work out because customers in that area want food they're familiar with, and we're providing the added benefit of telling them exactly where that ingredient is from.
Thoughtful answer, and I loved your anticipation with the menu already circled. That was pretty good.
Thank you.
Good thinking. The second thing about Stanford, to me, is there are 130,000 people there, but I don't know how many restaurants there are per capita or food sales per capita. Have you done that research?
What we're doing is we're focusing on the immediately 2-mile radius of downtown Stanford because it's densely populated. And we understand that there's so much business travelers, hotels, business offices, residents who are living in the apartment buildings right on top of our unit, for instance. That they're going to walk down and they're not going to travel very far if they have a plethora of restaurants in the area offering them food. So we are focusing on that, the densely populated area of downtown Stanford.
Okay. And we have some question on cost.
Hi, thank you for the snacks. My question is, there is quite a low barrier to entry. Obviously, farm to table is quite well known, and I think you will face high competition. So my question is, you have these farmers that you've already identified, the 12 farmers. Do you have them on exclusivity, and what is your plan for when there is more competition in the market, which inevitably there will be?
Sure, thank you for your question. I can talk to the idea as well. The 12 farms, we don't have exclusivity. But the thing is that they produce a lot of product that we know they can provide Campagna Ristorante. In terms of other restaurants entering the market and replicating our idea, one thing that you really need is a very experienced back-of-house operation to run a farm-to-table operation because we can be changing our menu weekdays and weekends. And that is something that is very difficult to find in the market, people with that kind of knowledge and experience. And we have it here with our management team.
Okay, do you want to take that?
I love the concept, and thank you for the snacks. They were delicious.
Thank you.
My question is about your online retail that you're planning on launching, and when exactly, and what kind of technology will you need, and what kind of costs have you associated to that?
Yeah, sure. I'll take this question. So we plan to, because the reason why we're having a fairly smaller retail section at the beginning of this business is because we want to kind of test it all at the beginning. So we're hoping to launch this online retail platform after month 6 because we plan to open on April, and then by month 6 it will be October. So that's right before the holiday season when people keep buying gifts to for their families, and we think it would be great if we offer this online retail at that time so people can just buy online and ship it to their friends and families. And then, but we're still we'll see how this retail section and this concept works. Once we open it, we are confident that it's going to be really great. And then once we decide we're going to launch it, fortunately enough, I was working for a technology startup, and I have formulated a lot connections with engineers building online selling platform. So that's where I'm going to start working with it. to build the platform.
That's great, very exciting. And in addition, does your background also include how to reach the consumers, right? Having the people to come in and eat and seeing the retail concept is amazing, but how do you reach the people that don't actually know about the restaurant?
Sure. So, talking about, Tamar has mentioned my experience with the area. We've been fortunate enough to have been able to form connections with local bloggers, local writers of magazines, and customers in the area that really are going to follow our concept. So we think we can reach them that way, as well as using the farms to our leverage, because they're at the farmers market every weekend talking with the customers, interacting with them, and they're going to say, oh, you should go to Campagna Ristorante because they're using that product, and go try it and come up with menu ideas. So, and then combined, the 12 farms only have approximately 8,000 social media followers in the area, and they can help us get the word out about Campagna.
Great, thank you.
I have one more on your plan, because this is a business plan competition. A third of your sales were never even discussed, and that was beverages, wine program, and the like. What's your thinking on that?
Sure. Our thinking is we're going to have a mix of local beverages as well as imported. There's approximately 30 wineries in Fairfield County, 20 breweries, 12 liquor distilleries. We're going to definitely use their products, but we have to source some imported Italian wines, and for when you really want a Grey Goose martini with 3 olives, we'll have that as well.
That's great. So I got to tell you, that's a kind of a miss in a restaurateur when you got a plan to not have something about beverages. Because you could really, if you're going to do local sourcing of wine, especially in the Finger Lakes area and the like, would really do well. So that's just a caution. If you go forward, I'd be forward on beverages too.
Okay,
Thank you.
I think we all kind of talked about, just quickly, about your cost. And if you decide to go forward and do this and not just do a business plan, but actually do the work, I think there's a consensus that you don't have enough money budgeted for marketing, for startup, 41% cash on cash return first year. If your guys work, you'll be a big success, but we all think you don't have enough money in there.
Yeah, we actually, sorry, I just want to,
Please.
yeah, so you think we're going to run out of our working capital, or, capital budget, or just like,
I think cost to build out the restaurant, cost to train the staff, cost of marketing,
Okay.
Other regulatory costs you don't expect, operating costs in the beginning, training. You're back at the house as a higher quality team member because you're doing more with local, and you're rendering food that comes in a nice dirty box, but it's fresh. But that also takes a lot of work.
So sorry. Sorry, Brian. Okay.
I'll let her answer.
Yeah, we're considering buying out existing restaurant. That's the reason why our building cost is fairly low than building a new restaurant. And then the reason why that we put in our training expenses, but then actually the 3 of us are going to be training. We're not hiring outside consultant, and we're not taking money from ourselves. So regarding occupancy and all that utilities, actually the rent that we got from this exact set is only a little bit over $6,000 per month. So it's fairly low, lower than New York City is pretty good. So that's why we think we've thought as much as we could include it in this capital budget. There will be some variations, apparently, like when you do it in reality, but we'll definitely keep that in mind and try to keep our costs down.
Well, good luck. Invite us to the opening.
Great job.
Thank you.